Hey, West Haven Baptist Church. This is Rick and Kathy. It is Wednesday morning, 11:10. We're about 3,200 feet up in the Skyline Drive area of the Shenandoah National Park. This is just a great day. We're thinking there may be some rain a little bit later. We're not sure. There are some gnats here, so if you see us going like this, it's the, I guess, the Virginia wave or something like that. I don't know. Anyhow, Kathy and I just want to say hello. We love you guys and we miss you. Want to say anything?
Hello.
We're having a great time, seeing great spots. Kathy was able to find some great deals on hotel rooms and things. So,
And thank you to all of you who are praying for us on this trip and wishing us a nice trip.
yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the message for today, and I just want to go ahead and dive right into it. This is message number 11, and the title of this message is Details, 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 and this is the gift of administration. Believe it or not, that is one of the spiritual gifts listed in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, particularly verse 28. It is the gift of administration. Here's the passage from the NIV version and then the Message version. And God has placed in the church, first of all, apostles, second, prophets, third, teachers, then miracles, then gifts of healing, of helping, of guidance, and of different kinds of tongues. And that word for guidance there is a word that we can translate administration. The Message version says this: you are Christ's body. That's who you are. You must never forgive this. Only as you accept your part of that body does your part mean anything. You're familiar with some of the parts that God has formed in His church, which is His body. Apostles, prophets, teachers, miracle workers. Healers, helpers, and organizers. And that organizer is, again, that gift of administration. The gift of administration is very important for the local church. There's got to be somebody in the church, or somebodies, and I believe, as I say every week, that there are people who are going to listen to this message, who are going to realize that God has given them the gift of administration. So it's a very important gift within the body of Christ. Getting all the details done so that others can lead. There are people who have big picture ideas. They understand vision. They understand trends and the environment. And they've got to keep their heads kind of in the clouds, as it were. But we also need people who are able and willing to administrate or to organize or to effectively carry out the tasks that the leaders envision. It's a spiritual form of management so that all of us can work together effectively. The gift of administration, the spiritual gift of administrator, means this is someone who helps us get all the details right so that others can lead. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I was at a conference probably 15 years ago now, and a guy sat down next to me, which I had no idea who he was, just during a break. We were out in the lobby area, and he sat down next to me and he said, "I'll bet you're an administrator. I bet you have that gift." And I said, what do you mean? He said, "Well, you've got that gift of organization and making sure that tasks are completed and that things are working smoothly." And I said, "Yeah, that is one of the gifts that I have, that God has given to us." The word here, and so I've always kind of just held on to that The guy just kind of came out of the blue and said it to me, and it confirmed or it affirmed something that I already knew in my spirit. And that's the thing about spiritual gifts. If someone comes up and says, "I believe you have this gift," it should affirm something that God has already put in your spirit. Now, the word here in 1 Corinthians 12:28, the word here for guiding or organizers, this is the only time in the New Testament that this word is used. There's a similar word in Acts and Revelation that means captain or leader, but I'm not sure there's supposed to be a connection with this particular word. Now, in Romans 12:8, there's a word that means leadership. We translate it leadership, but it's a different word, and that's why I feel very comfortable translating and agreeing with others who translate this word to mean administration here in 1 Corinthians 12:28. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, kind of highlight two people in the Bible who had this gift of administration, or who were at least familiar with this gift of administration. And that'll kind of flesh out for us what this gift is, and it'll demonstrate to us that there are indeed people who have been spiritually gifted with administration. First of all, there is Joseph, and this is the Old Testament Joseph, who was Jacob's son. He was a leader of Egypt. In fact, he was number 2. Pharaoh installed him as the second in command over all of Egypt, but he actually did administration. And then there is Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, and we'll talk about him in a minute. I want to go ahead and read from Genesis. Well, actually, I am not going to read from Genesis 41. I thought I was. Yes, I am. Genesis 41, verses 28 through 40. The meaning is what I said earlier. God is letting Pharaoh, wait till the truck passes. The meaning is what I said earlier. God is letting Pharaoh in on what he is going to do. This is Joseph interpreting the dream that Pharaoh had. If you'll go back to Genesis 41, you'll read about that dream. 7 years of plenty are on their way throughout Egypt, but on their heels will come 7 years of famine, leaving no trace of the Egyptian plenty. As the country is emptied by famine, there won't even be a scrap left of the previous plenty. The famine will be total. The fact that Pharaoh dreamed the same dream twice emphasizes God's determination to do it, and to do it soon. So Pharaoh needs to look for a wise and experienced man and put him in charge of the country. Then Pharaoh needs to appoint managers throughout the country of Egypt to organize it during the years of plenty. Their job will be to collect all the food produced in the good years ahead and stockpile the grain under Pharaoh's authority, storing it in the towns for food. The grain will be held back to be used later during the 7 years of famine that are coming on Egypt. This way, the country won't be devastated by the famine. This seemed like a good idea to Pharaoh and his officials. Then Pharaoh said to his officials, "Isn't this the man we need? Are we going to find anyone else who has God's Spirit in him like this?" So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "You're the man for us. God has given you the inside story. No one is as qualified as you in experience and wisdom. From now on, you're in charge of my affairs. All my people will report to you. Only as king will I be over you." So that's Genesis, who was an administrator. He was discerning. Pharaoh even recognized this. He was wise. He was a leader, and yet he wasn't the main leader. He was submitted to Pharaoh. He was a leader in the sense of getting things done, but Pharaoh maintained the leadership of the nation. he also was able to see and develop the strategy needed to accomplish the goals that God had set for them. And others, of course, were able to recognize the wisdom in Joseph as well. Now, Jethro, we see him as more of an administrative consultant. Let me turn to Exodus chapter 18. Just going to pick up all this. Hopefully you guys can still hear. Apparently we are in the busiest section of Skyline Drive right now. Exodus 18 verses 13 through 27. And let me just kind of set the picture, the table here. Moses is judging between people when they have disagreements, when they have issues. He is kind of acting as a judge. But because there's so many people in Israel and there are so many problems, he's kind of overwhelmed with the amount of people who are coming to him and asking that he judge between them. So, verse 13 in chapter 18 of Exodus. The next day Moses took his place to judge the people. People were standing before him all day long, from morning to night. When Moses' father-in-law saw that all he was doing for the people, he said, "What's going on here? Why are you doing all this, and all by yourself, letting everybody line up before you from morning to night?" Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me with questions about God. When something comes up, they come to me. I judge between a man and his neighbor and teach them God's laws and instructions." Moses' father-in-law said, "This is no way to go about it. You'll burn out and the people right along with you. This is way too much for you. You can't do this alone. Now listen to me. Let me tell you how to do this so that God will be in this with you. Be there for the people before God, but let the matters of concern be presented to God. Your job is to teach them the rules and instructions. Your job is to teach them the rules and instructions, to show them how to live, what to do. And then you need to keep a sharp eye out for competent men, men who fear God, men of integrity, men who are incorruptible, and appoint them as leaders over groups organized by the 1,000, by the 100, by 50, and by 10. They'll be responsible for the everyday work of judging among the peoples. They'll bring the hard cases to you, but in the routine cases, they'll be the judges. They will share your load, and that will make it easier for you. If you handle the work this way, you'll have the strength to carry out whatever God commands you, and the people in their settings will flourish also." Moses listened to the counsel of his father-in-law and did everything he said. Moses picked the competent men from all Israel and set them as leaders over the people, who were organized by the 1,000, by the 100, by 50, and by 10. They took over the everyday work of judging among the people. They brought the hard cases to Moses, but in the routine cases, they were the judges. Then Moses said goodbye to his father-in-law, who went home to his own country. And the father-in-law knew when it was a good time to leave, apparently. So what we see here with Jethro is that an administrator knows how to monitor a situation and what is needed. An administrator is good at analyzing what is needed as well. The person with the spiritual gift of administration is turned off by inefficiency and ineffectiveness. This person is also focused on accomplishing the task before him or her. They are problem solvers. They are people who know how and when to give advice, and they are very detail-oriented. And that's why I've titled this message, Details, Details, Details. Now, what might this spiritual gift look like in your life if God has given you the spiritual gift of administration? Well, first of all, do you sense the Holy Spirit at work in your life? Are details Are details very important to you? Are you able to discern, that is, look at a situation and be able to kind of see through to the main issue at hand and instantly organize in your mind how you can organize people to accomplish the task? Does strategy come easily to you? Do others confirm your gift of administration by following and agreeing with you? Are you always on the prowl for how to make things work better? If so, you may have the spiritual gift of administration. And if you have learned over the years that you are an administrator and you just maybe never put a name to it, experience has been a teacher for you, then I want you to seriously consider that God may in fact have given you the spiritual gift of administration. And let me tell you, we need these people in key positions. We need these are the people who need to be committee chair people. These are the people who need to lead ministries, or at least be second, an assistant leader to someone maybe who is gifted in visioning and looking at the big picture. But we need these people in our committees in our church. Now, here's some cautions that I want to just kind of offer to you if you happen to have this gift. Don't forget people. That's the first caution. It's so easy to be so focused on the task at hand and bringing people together to do this that you forget that people have feelings and people matter. And really what God is all about is not accomplishing a task. He's about building people. If you have this spiritual gift, you may be at times a very intense kind of person. And you may, in fact, be a little too intense at times. So just kick back a little bit and allow God, who's given you the administrative vision, the administrative strategy, allow Him to accomplish what He has for you to do. The third caution is leave your whip elsewhere. Don't whip people into shape. And go easy on the frustration. It can become so easy to become frustrated with people who aren't doing what they said they would do or what you think they should do. We're working with people who have lives and families and jobs and health issues, and so go easy on the frustration. Understand that as an administrator, your job is to help change things incrementally. A leader may come in inspired by God, may come in and change things a little dramatically if it's good with the people, if it seems good to the people. But an administrator isn't going to make drastic changes like a leader may. Administrator, however, can make changes incrementally. Another caution is this: don't sit on your gift. We need more people like Roy McCollum, who is our church volunteer coordinator for the next year or so. We need more people like him. We need committee chairs who are good at administration and getting things done. So please, don't sit on this gift. And finally, don't forget about God. An administrator is able to see how to organize things and people and get things done and bring in resources. And it's so easy for administrators to kind of start relying on their own knowledge, their own experience, their own wisdom. Let God be at work in the church. Now, there are people here today, I believe, who have been given the gift, the spiritual gift of administration. And I want to just encourage Betty again, after she offers salvation, to also ask if there are people who believe they've been given the spiritual gift of administration. And if so, you need to let us know, because we need you. We need you fast, and we need you dearly. We need you. Well, that's the news from Skyline Drive. The motorcycle's working well for an 18-year-old bike. and we've got these great deals on our rooms. Seems like the rain's kind of holding off. We'll be able to probably ride for another hour, hour and a half, and then turn around and head back to our hotel. We're enjoying our vacation very much, and thank you for Betty filling in. And if you have any critical needs, Betty can help meet those needs right now. I just want to thank everybody for allowing us and rooting for us to take this break and get recharged a little bit. It's been an adventure so far, and we're looking forward to another few days of adventure as well. God bless you. Kathy and I love you, and we will see you soon. God bless.